Formula One is supposed to be about speed, pole positions, championships, milliseconds. But every now and then, something happens that reminds us this isn't just a sport about cars, it's about people. Behind every helmet is a human being chasing a dream. Behind every garage is a team that sacrifices thousands of hours for one moment of success. And sometimes, Formula One produces moments so emotional that even the toughest competitors can't hold back the tears. Today we're looking at 3 of the most emotional moments in Formula One history. These are the stories that united rivals, moved millions of fans, and proved there's far more to Formula One than simply crossing the finish line first. Pierre Gasly wins the Italian Grand Prix, 2020. If you had asked anyone in the Formula One paddock 12 months earlier whether Pierre Gasly would ever become a Grand Prix winner, very few would have believed you. In 2019, Gasly was living every driver's nightmare. After just 12 races with Red Bull Racing, he was demoted back to Toro Rosso. It was one of the most public and brutal decisions Formula One had seen in years. One day, you're driving for the team expected to fight for victories. The next, you've been told you're not good enough. For many drivers, that would have been the beginning of the end. But for Gasly, life had already thrown him a far greater challenge. Only a year before his Red Bull demotion, his childhood best friend, Antoine Hubert, was killed in a Formula 2 accident at Spa-Francorchamps. Gasly had grown up racing alongside Hubert since they were children. They travelled together, dreamed together, and both believed they would one day become Formula One drivers. Only one of them got the chance. Gasly later admitted there wasn't a single day he didn't think about his friend. So when Formula One arrived at Monza in 2020, nobody expected history. A perfectly timed red flag, clever strategy, and a brilliant restart suddenly put the AlphaTauri driver into the race lead. But leading a Formula One race and winning one are 2 completely different things. Behind him was Carlos Sainz, driving the race of his life. Lap after lap, the gap shrank. 1 second, 8 tenths, half a second. Every corner felt like it might be the one where Gasly's dream disappeared. Then, finally, he crossed the finish line. Pierre Gasly had won the Italian Grand Prix, his first victory. AlphaTauri's first victory since Sebastian Vettel's famous Monza win in 2008, and one of the biggest upsets Formula One has ever seen. But the most emotional moment came over the team radio. His voice cracked.
Oh my God! What did you do? What did you do?
He could barely believe what had happened. The celebrations weren't just about winning a race. They were about proving everyone wrong, about bouncing back after public humiliation, and, in many ways, about fulfilling a dream he once shared with Antoine Hubert. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We upload new Formula One stories every week, uncovering the incredible moments, controversies, and forgotten stories that make this sport so special. Because as emotional as that victory was, the next story showed what true courage really looks like. Niki Lauda returns, just 42 days after the Nürburgring fire, 1976. Niki Lauda was fighting for another world championship. Just a few corners into the German Grand Prix at the Nürburgring, disaster struck. His Ferrari suddenly snapped to the right and slammed into the barriers before bursting into flames. The car bounced back across the circuit where it was struck again by oncoming traffic. Lauda was trapped inside the inferno for almost a minute. Fellow drivers Arturo Merzario, Guy Edwards, Brett Lunger, and Harold Ertl ignored the danger and rushed into the flames to pull him free. His helmet had come loose. His face and head were badly burned. Even worse, he had inhaled toxic gases that severely damaged his lungs. At the hospital, a priest was called to read him his last rites. Doctors didn't believe he would survive. But Niki Lauda had other ideas. Just 42 days later, still recovering from burns that were visible beneath his helmet, still suffering immense pain, still carrying fresh bandages. He climbed back into his Ferrari at the Italian Grand Prix. Simply getting back into the cockpit seemed impossible. Yet Lauda qualified 5th and finished an astonishing 4th. Every blink was painful. Blood seeped through his balaclava. But he refused to give up on the championship. Although he narrowly lost the title to James Hunt later that season, Lauda's comeback became one of the greatest acts of determination in sporting history. Sometimes the most emotional victories don't involve standing on the top step of the podium. Sometimes just getting back in the car is the greatest victory of all. Lewis Hamilton ends the wait at Silverstone, 2024. For years, Lewis Hamilton seemed unstoppable. Winning races had become almost expected. Then everything changed. As Formula One entered a new era of regulations, Mercedes fell behind. Race after race, Hamilton came close, but victory always slipped away. The wins stopped coming. One season became two, then nearly three. By the time Formula One arrived at Silverstone in 2024, Hamilton hadn't won a Grand Prix in 945 days. Many wondered if he would ever win again. Standing in his way were Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, George Russell, and Oscar Piastri. The weather was changing constantly, strategy was critical, and one mistake would cost everything. But somehow, everything came together. Hamilton drove with the calmness and precision that had made him a 7-time world champion. As the final laps counted down, millions of fans barely dared to believe it. Then, the checkered flag fell. Lewis Hamilton had won the British Grand Prix, his 9th victory at Silverstone, a record that may never be broken. The radio message said everything.
Thank you so much, guys. It means a lot. It means a lot to get this one. A big thank you to all the fans here. Love you guys.
After almost 3 years of frustration, he couldn't hold back the tears. Neither could many of the people around him. His father, Anthony Hamilton, embraced him in Parc Fermé. Mercedes mechanics celebrated like they had won their first race. Even rival teams recognized just how special the moment was. Watching it unfold brought back memories of growing up watching Formula One. It took me straight back to seeing Hamilton dominate Silverstone year after year as a kid, when victories like this almost felt routine. But that's exactly what made this one so emotional. Back then, winning seemed inevitable. In 2024, it felt impossible, which made finally seeing him stand on the top step again all the more powerful. It wasn't just another race victory. It was proof that perseverance still matters, that even the greatest drivers experience doubt, and that sometimes, after years of disappointment, sport finds the perfect ending. These moments remind us why we fall in love with Formula One. Not because of the fastest laps, not because of the championships, but because every now and then, Formula One gives us moments that feel bigger than racing itself. A driver overcoming unimaginable heartbreak, a champion refusing to accept defeat, a legend reminding the world why we fell in love with watching him race. Those are the moments fans remember forever. And they're the reason Formula One will always be about more than just speed. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Formula One story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.